Imagine getting canceled because of your roommate, not because of anything you did, just because you happen to live with someone chaotic, and now everyone assumes you're chaotic too. That right there is the entire public relations history of taurine. Every time someone gets jittery, heart racy, or full-on feral off an energy drink, taurine gets the blame. Meanwhile, the actual culprits, caffeine, and enough sugar to sedate a horse, are just standing in the corner, whistling, acting like nothing happened. So today, we're putting taurine on trial. Full courtroom energy. Let's see if the evidence actually holds up. Here's how taurine got its villain origin story. Early 2000s. Energy drinks explode onto the market. Suddenly, every gas station in America is basically a battery store for humans. Sales chart goes straight up and to the right. Parents panic. Headlines scream about a mystery chemical. Some of them even claimed it came from bull semen. Which is fake, by the way. Completely made up. Taurine is named after the Latin word for bull, taurus, because it was first isolated from ox bile back in the 1800s. Way less exciting. Way less dangerous. Just a slightly awkward etymology. And here's the thing that always gets me. Taurine was just quietly existing inside meat and fish for millions of years, minding its own business, doing normal biological duties. Nobody was scared of a chicken breast. Nobody protested salmon. But the second it showed up in a neon can next to a cartoon lightning bolt, it became public enemy number one. Once something becomes the scary ingredient, nuance dies immediately. Guilty by association. And that association is about to hold up surprisingly well in court, so let's actually figure out what we're dealing with. So what even is taurine? Taurine is an amino acid-like compound, technically an aminosulfonic acid, but we're not going to get stuck on that your body makes naturally. You also get it from food, specifically meat, fish, and dairy. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you're typically getting very little of it from your diet, since plants basically don't contain it. A healthy body can produce some on its own, but dietary intake still matters for a lot of people. Here's the part that surprises people. Taurine isn't just floating around doing nothing. It's heavily concentrated in some of the most important real estate in your entire body. Your brain, your heart, your eyes, and your muscles. That's not where you put filler ingredients. That's where you put things that are actually working. Not a stimulant, not a drug, just a genuinely busy little molecule with an image problem. So what's it actually doing in there? Think of taurine as the backstage crew keeping the concert running. Nobody's cheering for the sound guy or the lighting technician, but the second they disappear, the whole show falls apart. Taurine helps regulate cell hydration, basically keeping the right amount of fluid inside your cells. It supports muscle contraction, helping your muscles fire properly. It helps balance electrolytes alongside sodium and potassium. It supports your nervous system, plays a role in heart function, and it's involved in bile acid conjugation, which helps your body digest and absorb fat. On top of all that, it acts as a kind of antioxidant, helping protect cells from damage. It's not flashy. It's structural. It's the roadie, not the rock star. But you'd absolutely notice if it walked off the job. But if it's this important, why does everyone still think it's evil? Let's go through the biggest myths, one by one. Myth number 1, taurine is a stimulant. It's not. Caffeine is just extremely good at taking credit for group projects it barely contributed to. Myth number 2, energy drinks work because of taurine. In reality, the buzz you feel is overwhelmingly driven by caffeine and sugar. Most research uses 1 to 3 grams of taurine, and typical energy drinks contain far less than that. Its actual contribution to the energy feeling is unclear at best. Myth number 3, taurine is dangerous. Current research generally shows it's well tolerated in healthy adults. It's less dangerous chemical and more responsible roommate who actually pays rent on time and doesn't leave dishes in the sink. Myth number 4, it's only for bodybuilders. Sure, it shows up in athletic performance research, but it also shows up in studies on aging, metabolism, and heart health. It's not a one-trick gym bro. It's got range. So what does the actual science say it can do? Let's separate rodents from reality here, because this is where a lot of headlines get sloppy. On exercise recovery and muscle function, some human trials suggest modest benefits for performance and reduced muscle soreness, though results across studies are mixed and not universally consistent. On hydration and electrolyte balance, this is supported by taurine's known physiological role in the body, with some human data backing it up. On metabolic health, early human studies show some promising markers, but a lot of these studies have small sample sizes, so we should hold off on big conclusions. On heart health, some clinical research links taurine to modest improvements in blood pressure and certain heart function markers. Important note, it is not a treatment and it's not a cure for anything. And then there's aging, which is the one that gets the wildest headlines. A widely discussed 2023 study found that taurine levels dropped with age in animals, and supplementation affected lifespan in mice and worms. That's genuinely interesting. But human aging data is still very limited, and this is absolutely not proven to extend human lifespan. If a headline told you otherwise, that headline lied to you. Exciting? Yes. Settled science? Not even close. This is promising early research, not a fountain of youth you scoop into your smoothie. So should you actually take this stuff? A few groups might genuinely benefit more than others. People training hard and putting their bodies through intense physical stress. Older adults, since natural production and dietary intake can shift with age. And people eating little to no animal products, since that's where most dietary taurine comes from. But if you're already eating meat, fish, or dairy regularly and you're feeling perfectly fine, you probably don't need to add anything. Supplementing isn't a requirement for everyone. Is it actually safe? Most human research uses somewhere around 1 to 3 grams a day. And taurine generally appears well tolerated in healthy adults at those levels. That said, as with literally any supplement, if you're on medication or managing a health condition, talk to a healthcare professional before adding it to your routine. Not a legal disclaimer for the sake of it, genuinely good advice. So here's the verdict. Taurine wasn't the villain. It was guilty by association, dragged into a scandal that was never really about it in the first place. And honestly, that's how a lot of nutrition myths work. Sometimes the biggest myths in nutrition aren't created by science. They're created by marketing. If you enjoyed this myth-busting journey, subscribe for science-based nutrition, explained with humor, not hype.